Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager save. This is episode number 47. And today we're returning with two games as face Chelsea away at the Bridge in the Premier League and our opening Europa Conference League phase game, home to Rapid Vienna as well. Before we get to the games though, shall we be getting off camera, and also some big transfers as well. Let's get to that first. Or as you can see, on deadline day, I kind of had a rush of blows to the head and made 6 signings. You know, there's a phrase, post-nut clarity. This is kind of like post-closed window clarity. I don't know what I was doing, to be honest. But anyway, we'll see what happened here with the departures to begin with. As you can see, we loaned out a few players, including Rusula, the young Croatian that came in. He's gone out on loan to Lyon in France. He wanted to leave as soon as we signed Joe Gomez. And I was like, mate, you're 18 years old. Fuck off. So I sent him out on loan to Lyon. He won't be able to get the homegrown status now. But you know what? I don't want this negative issue affecting the team, as it's ludicrous. Santino's, the young Portuguese winger, he's also gone out on loan as well, this time to Hamburg in the Bundesliga as well. Annoyingly, both clubs said there'd be starters for their teams. They haven't been so far. Hopefully that rectifies in time. But also the big sales you'll see here, Antonio Blanco was in the final year of his contract. He wanted to leave, and in the end I managed to sell him outside of England, which is what I wanted to do. He's gone to Benfica for could be £28 million with installments, but it's an initial £23.5 million. Blanco came in on a free in season 3, after being released by Real Madrid. He was okay, but really just a squad player. So to sell him in the final year of his contract, he got 23.5 mil, plus perhaps an extra 5 mil, I'll take it. And also the big sale, Czech Doucouré has gone. A one and done for Doucouré at Bournemouth. Was sublime last year. 5 assists in 33 games in the league. Brilliant anchor man in our team, but I didn't want to sell him. He said he wanted a new contract. I offered him 100 grand a week and it still wasn't enough. And this is really starting to annoy me a little bit here, and I know it's not just me that has this issue as well. I know some of you guys have this issue too. I lurk on the subreddit Football Manager Games. Shout out to the subreddit Football Manager Games. I lurk on the subreddit. I know some of you guys have this problem as well. When, you know, one of your players wants a ludicrous amount of money, yet they'll join a new team on like close to half what they're asking for. 62 grand a week he took at Juventus. Are you kidding me? It was like 100 grand a week wasn't enough at Bournemouth. He would take 62 grand a week in Turin, but he had a minimum fee release clause of 32 mil, so I couldn't turn it down. 32 million pounds he goes to Juventus because they are in the Champions League, so I couldn't turn that one down. Unfortunately, my hands were tied. But as for the new signings, let me show you who's come in. Firstly, just a young 18-year-old striker from Everton on a compensation deal. But the big signings, really, well, I'll show you this guy first and foremost. Jordan Henderson's come in from Southampton for a nominal fee on just 18 grand a week, 2-year deal. You know why I've signed this guy. Model citizen personality, one of the best in the game. Mental stats are absolutely phenomenal. And whilst physically he's shot now, technically he's still a pretty decent passer of the ball and quite comfortably in a defensive role. So Henderson comes in just to be a squad player here. You know, I love club culture. You know me. If you're any of you at the channel, you won't know this, but I'm big on culture and, you know, dressing room atmospheres and the mental aspect of team sports and the psychological aspects of, you know, the inner runnings of companies and organisations. I'm a big fan of, you know, good, strong club culture. There's a really good saying that if the culture's strong, then the people become like the culture. But if the culture's weak, then the culture becomes like the people. I love that saying so much. And in my teams, we're all about this kind of stuff. So, yeah, Henderson comes in just to be a dressing room leader for the most part of his experience. But the really exciting signings are here. Ivan Fernandez, who's a young Argentine left winger who we've picked up for, is it £6 million, £7 million from Estudiantes there in Argentina. Looks really good. Good teamwork, good determination, good work rate. And already is an 18-year-old called a model citizen. What 18-year-old is called a model citizen? I don't know, but I love this guy. He matured at 6 years old, I think. I absolutely love it. And a couple other Argentines as well, because Argentina seems a great place to scout nowadays. Gustavo Chompitas, the chump. Once again, really good mental stats, really professional personality. Can hit the ball with either foot, and as a ball-winning midfielder already has some very, very good stats indeed on the 18-year-old. And the most exciting of the three from Argentina, this guy here. Oh, man. I don't know where to play him, but he needs to play, no doubt about it. Can hit the ball with either foot, Perfectionist personality, my favourite in the game. Physically, you might think not the best, but technically already, goodness gracious me. 16 dribbling, 15 finishing, 17 first touch, 17 passing, 17 technique, 17 flair as well. This guy is described as a wonder kid, and whilst I do feel as though the wonder kid tag gets given out a little bit too frequently for my liking, I think it gets given out a little bit too softly, if you will. This guy definitely has the makings to become a world star in football. He's already got a cap at senior level for Argentina. Sadly, I signed him a little bit too late for him to come homegrown and trained at either the club or the nation, unfortunately. But I couldn't pass him up. For £7 million, already a regular at Boca Juniors and playing really well as a teenager. What a talent this guy is, man. He looks phenomenal. And the final signing as well was Mitrovic on deadline day as well. Leeds had him on the transfer list and for £16 million. Well, like I said, it's all about the club culture here. Perfectionist personality. Mentally, everyone knows Mitrovic. Really, really good worker. Quite a selfless player. Physically, this dude is so strong as well at 6'2", and technically he still has it, even though he's just turned 33. Alexander Mitrovic. He's one of those sort of players that I guess the saying for Mitrovic is, if at first you don't succeed, try again. After he came to Newcastle, he really struggled to adapt to life in England. Then he went to Fulham, and yeah, he was okay, he was alright, but in the second season when Fulham were back in the Premier League, he really struggled, but he bounced back with a championship goal scoring record, and then he started succeeding. So if you don't succeed at first, try again. Moved on to Leeds in the save. He was pretty decent over the past 2 years, but now on the transfer list, I snapped him up for £16 million, and I think he's definitely worth it. We have had a problem scoring goals. Alexander might be the answer to that problem. So, yep, 7 new signings, and you'll see now our budget is down to £21 million, although our bank balance is just shy of £100 million. So, I think I've done a really good job in this window, I must say, of, making sure that our wage bill, whilst it does increase, doesn't inflate to like a ridiculous amount. We're now, I think, the 14th most expensive wage bill team. Does that make sense? I don't think it does. There's a way to do this. Here we are. I think we're 14th now. Are we 14th? No, 13th now. We're risen to 13th. We're spending 80 mil on salary per year. So we've risen quite a bit, but to be fair, we need to do this, man. We're now a top 7, top 8 team. We got to start competing with these guys. We can't afford to blow it up to this sort of level. Obviously not even close, but we got to start putting players on more expensive contracts now, I think, to A, keep them, and B, attract other good players as well. But anyway, in the run off camera, let me show you what's been going on. And of course, in the last episode, you saw our first ever Premier League game at the Eddie Howe Stadium, a 1-0 victory over Leeds, with Sucic scoring on his debut. It's been quite a long run in the run off camera, longer than I anticipated, but it's been quite mixed. Just a 1 loss so far, but several draws and a few wins as well. So we started off by making it through our Europa Conference League first qualifying round against AIK, and then we drew 1-1 at home with Liverpool. Mohamed Salah scored inside the first 3 minutes in this game, but Mascara stood up to take a penalty, and he scored it as well 9 minutes after the restart in a 1-1 draw, which I certainly take. We then overcame Kasim Paza, the Turkish side, in the final playoff round in the Europa Conference League over 2 legs, 6-1. And sandwiched in between that was our first loss in the Premier League this season. We went to Spurs in North London and got beat 2-1. One of those games where the cliche is football is a game of two halves. This definitely was. In the first half, we were lucky to only be 2-0 down, courtesy of Harry Kane and Milan Skriniar. Fired the boys up in the second half, changed things around a little bit tactically. We were really unlucky not to get a point in this game. Sucic scored directly after the restart, and we hit the bar twice in the late stages, but unfortunately did lose. Following that, though, bounced back at home with a 1-0 win over Leicester in Chris Metham's return. Won by a goal to nil. Garan Kowal scoring his first Premier League goal for us, latching onto a battery and a free ball, and while Scott McTominay did get a red card, we still held on. But following out, back-to-back draws, first away at Carrow Road against Norwich City, the Canaries. Great resilience in this game, though. We were down twice, and this was one of those games where I was like, Martin, you're such a good player, why can't you do this more consistently? He scored both of our levelers in the game. The first one, a nice cushioned effort into the bottom corner, and the second one, 2 minutes to go in the game, free kick, stands up, bends it in top corner to rescue a point single-handedly. Why can't he do this more frequently, man? He's such a good player when he wants to be. But after that, 3 clean sheets in a row and 1 draw and 2 wins. Starting off with a goalless draw away at St James's. Definitely take that against a good Newcastle side, but we then beat Brighton 4-0 in our final league game, where I changed my tactics heading into the game and I put on the pass into space instruction. let's just say it suited Garang Kowal into the ground because he scored a hat-trick in this game, his first hat-trick for the Cherries. One from a penalty and the other 2 goals as well, latching onto through balls. For his pace, that instruction plays into his play style perfectly. Hamid Traore got our other one in a 4-0 victory against Brighton. And our final game of Carabao was a 1-0 win against Leicester in the Carabao Cup third round. So, in the Premier League right now, it's been an okay start to be fair. 7 games into the season, just a 1 loss, but only 3 wins on the board so far. Defensively, it's been a decent start. 5 goals conceded, that's the joint second best in the league right now. Going forward though, I would say 10 goals in 7. It's not bad, but last year that was a concern for us. And this year, Kowal, our top scorer, looking good. The question is, can he keep it consistent? So that was a long introduction, and as we're now going to dive into the first game of today's episode here against Chelsea away at the Bridge, I would say this season really we've got to stay in the top 7. That is the minimum expectation from here on out. With Bournemouth, we have to be a European team of some kind, but I want to get into the Europa League minimum from now on, and that means top 6, not top 7. So if we are going to do that and break up the traditional top 6, these are the games where we can't afford to lose. We have to at least get a point. So heading to the game, Chelsea at the Bridge right now in injury report, as you can see. Just the 1 player down, that's Radolovic. He could play, but he's not going to. He's been out with shin splints since August, so we won't see him probably in today's episode in its entirety. And this will be our team. And like I said, the tactics have changed slightly. It's the 4-3-3 gegenpress with a bit of a change here. Our DM has now become a CM, and we've got a 3-man CM trio. The man up top is no longer a pressing forward, but an advanced forward. That's Kowal's best role in this team. The wing backs are now full backs to hopefully defend a little bit better on the flanks of the team. And in terms of our instructions as well, we're playing at a slightly lower tempo, shorter passing. We're playing wider as opposed to narrower nowadays as well. And again, we're also passing into space. I don't normally have this instruction on because I'm a bit of a possession freak. And sometimes I think if I do that, the likelihood is we're going to surrender possession a lot more times. But it worked in the last game against Brighton. Kowal loved that instruction, so we're going to keep it on, and these are the other instructions for you. So, heading to the game, Georgie is in goal, back for his Smallcombe, Stoic, Mascara, and Aaron's, and by the way, on Stoic as well. He's just signed a big new contract. 8 years. I feel like I'm Todd Bowley. 8-year contract. Yep, 40 grand a week. He's only on 5 grand a week, so he deserves a first team sort of contract. 40 grand a week, 5-year deal, but no minimum fee release clause and an optional extension of 3 years. Miodrag is going nowhere. He's a heck of a youngster. 2 great years out on loan at Leicester and Sassuolo. He's now come back here to the Etihad Stadium. He's a baller, this guy. Absolutely brilliant player. And there's no reason why he can't be the next Nemanja Vidic. So, yeah, he's in the back line alongside Aaron's. And the midfield trio is McTominay, Urasevic and Scott as well. Traore and Sucic are on the wings. And again, Kowal will lead our line. So on the bench, you've got Ward, Garza, Gomez, Mitchell, Forsby, Batterina, Soria, Sargent and Mitrovic as well. First 2 games, Chelsea away. If we are to be a top 6 team from here on out, we've got to at least get points in these games. Come on, you Cherries. Not expecting a win, and we're at this stage of the save where I often say this, like if you're doing an RTG, then there's like certain stages of the save you can kind of identify as Miodrag heads that free kick away, where like you become good enough to win these sort of games consistently. We're nowhere near ready for that yet. Heung-min Son fires just over the bar. Eventually, I feel we will get there. Eventually. It's been a long old slog of a save so far, but for now, when we go into these games, a point is a really good result. Like a really good result. So, still 0-0, and as things stand, stay tight at the back, and I'd certainly take a goalless draw. Come on, Traore went out, mate. Well done. And now Smallcombe sends it long over the top. That pass into space instruction paying off there. Cross to the middle. Oh, yes! Garang fires it on him. 7th of the year. And his good start to the season continues. I love a pressing forward or a target man, someone to either hold the ball up or nip at the toes of an opposition back line. But changing to advanced forward, I feel like that might be where we get the best out of Garang there. Great ball into space by Gaz, Traore into the middle, and the young Australian continues his fine start to life at his new club. He's already got as many goals as he got for Fulham in the entire season last year, and that's why that 51 mil was a gamble, but I felt confident it could pay off. He's definitely worth that at this stage of his career, so young at 22. Bournemouth in front. Question is, Can we stay tight defensively and not capitulate? Mosquera to Miodrag, and now McTominay takes over. Gaz is out wide if he wants to find him down the left-hand side, and he does. Small comb with Traore ahead. Keeps on going. There's Traore. Gets around his man. Selena with a save. Scott with the rebound, and Sucic. Sucic heads home. Was it offside? It's going VAR. Oh, McTominay's down. Play continued as McTominay was down, but note the replay comes straight on, which means that the goal stands. Scott McTominay, that's always worrying, isn't it? It's always worrying when a player pulls up with no one around him. That will be a big blow if McTominay is going to get forced off, which I think he might be. No, he's staying on for now with, oh, I'm not risking that. I'm going to take him off at the break. Oh, brilliant stuff. The new boys with the goals, 2-0 Bournemouth. Very happy with the way things are going, lads. Keep it up. Brilliant first half. That I think for Scott, I'm not going to risk that. I'm not going to risk that damage there. He says he can shake off the knock. Oh, do you know what? I'll keep him on for now. I'll keep him on for now. He's just such an important player. He's my captain, man. I love him. Right, second half begins. Bournemouth are leading by 2 in West London. What a result this will be. So 6 minutes to go as we still lead by 2. Question is, can we hold on to a massive scalp away at the bridge? Sadio Mane's through ball cut out by Miodrag. Although his ball isn't the best. Now Chelsea get it back. Salamakers to Fofana. Mason Mount over the top. Reece James. Was he onside or offside? Well, he's found the bottom corner. He looked a yard offside to me, though. I think that might be disallowed. Surrounding the referee, Reece James. I thought it was a yard offside there. And the goal, it is indeed disallowed. You know, I often say this if I can see it. Just take my word for it. It was a lovely ball by Mason Mount, but yeah, James definitely offside there. And the goal disallowed. I think Bournemouth are going to hang on. What a win this will be. Batterina, free kick. We complete a magical afternoon in West London. Almost Miodrag heading just over the bar. But I'll definitely take that. What a result, man. Clean sheet away at the bridge. Mosquera's made such a difference to our back line, man, honestly. Clean sheet, Kowal with yet another one, and a brilliant, brilliant scalp away in West London. I said, these games, I'll take a point every day of the week. But a big win there means our good start to the season continues. 15 points from our first 8 games and into the top 4. There's a long way to go though, so let's just keep it calm. So moving on, Europa Conference League phase opener. I think that's how you say it. As we head into the opening game of Europa Conference League phase. I don't know why I repeated myself there. But this is the Europa Conference League phase kind of like standings and the teams that are in it for this year's competition. And I'm not sure I actually showed you who we've got in the Conference League phase. I don't know why I keep saying this. But there you go. Those are our fixtures. Rapid Vienna, Hapoel, Standard Liège, Norrköping, Netzi, and Punic as well. So I feel confident we should be able to win the majority of those games. So heading into the opening game, I've got to stop repeating myself here, against the Austrian sides. You remember we actually had them 2 years ago in this very competition. Let's see if we can get the better of them this time out. We're going to stay with a 4-3-3, so same tactics as the win against Chelsea, but I'm going to rotate my entire side here apart from Georgie between the sticks. The back 4 is now Mitchell, Gomez, Garza and Henderson at right back. The midfield trio is Forsby, the Chump, Radulovic, and on the wings Batterina and Lautaro Soria, who I am just so excited about. And up top, Josh Sargent, who desperately needs a goal. Desperately needs a goal. He scored one in our qualification round against, who was AIK he scored against, or was it Kasim Bassa? I can't remember. But he needs a goal, man. He's not really been the player I was hoping. He's not been terrible. Not even close to terrible, but he desperately needs a good performance tonight. Let's see if the American can get it. On the bench, you've got Ward, Stoic, Mosquera, Smallcombe, Aarons, McTominay, Urisevic, Scott, Traore, Fernandez, Delap, and Mitrovic as well. First game of the Europa Conference League phase. It's a mouthful, that. Come on, you cherries. Yeah, I do think the Wonder Kid tag gets thrown about a little bit too frequently for my liking in Football Manager. I mean, for a while, Radulovic was described as a Wonder Kid. Heck of a player, don't get me wrong, but a Wonder Kid. To me, I feel like Wonder Kid should be reserved for your Erling Haalands, your Kylian Mbappe's. And I don't mean like the guaranteed to be the very best, but I think it does get given about too frequently. We've had like 8 Wonder Kids in this team since the save began. That's just... it's a bit too much for my liking. I think just too often it gets thrown about for players who, might end up being really good. But Wonder Kid? Really? Sargent, he needs a goal, man. He needs a goal. Tonight, Josh, I need you to get one. Come on, mate. Forsby, just over. Do you know what it reminds me of? If you're watching my RTG career mode right now with Malaga, I've been having this this talk about how I think the word legend gets thrown about too frequently. Like, you hear like a player that's played like 4 or 5 years for a club and being really good, don't get me wrong, but they're then regarded as a legend of that club. And it's like, really? Legend? Legend? You're going to call that player a legend? Like, you know, I think a good example is, I think that the guy's a fabulous player, and he's always been criminally underrated in my opinion, but Bobby Firmino, who's about to leave Liverpool, is battering down the left-hand side, crosses, Forsby! Totally fluffs his lines and Rapid Vienna clear. But Bobby Firmino, I've seen a couple of players, people say, oh, he's a Liverpool legend. Is he? You're going to put him on the same breath of your Ian Rushes and your Kenny Dalglishers and your Steven Gerrard? I mean, legend? Brilliant player, and on his day at times unplayable. But legend? Really? And I mean, you know, so many fans will use that for certain players. As Morton hits the crossbar and Rapid Vienna are hanging on in there. I think that's the same with Wonder Kid. It really should be reserved for the creme de la creme. The very, very best. Anyway, 8 minutes to go in the first half, and we're still tied at 0-0, but dominating here. And really unlucky not to be leading by at least one. But as Rapid Vienna are through here for possibly take the lead against a run of play, they've done so. Extraordinary. All that pressure, and we end up conceding first. It was Rapid Vienna we had, again, 2 years ago in this very competition. And I think we ended up drawing with them, didn't we, at home? These guys, they're a thorn in my side right now. Like, they are a real bogey. Seriously, I can't believe we're down in this game after dominating here and hitting the woodwork as well. Come on, boys. Soria, the Wonder Kid, Batarina, Josh Sargent. Oh, fucking hell. Yes, the flag's up for offside, but my good, he's anxious. Take him off. Take him off and send him out on loan somewhere. Drop him down to the Championship and let him score 3 goals every game. He's lost it, mate. He's absolutely lost it. Radulovic crossfield cut out. I want Josh to succeed so badly, but he's lost it. I say to the boys here, you've been unlucky because we are actually playing really well out there. We're very unlucky not to be up by, you know, at least a goal or two, really. But I might bring on a couple of my starters because I don't want to lose the first game. I don't want to lose the first game. I might just have to take Josh off, man. He's got no confidence whatsoever nowadays. Do you know? I'll lead the boys out there for now, but we desperately need a leveler soon after the restart. Come on, Bournemouth. I often say, like, when you're playing well, you don't have to rub it to green. Don't go too hard on your boys at the break. Oh, Josh! He's just... I want him to succeed, I do, but mate, take him off. He can't cut it right now. Going to a very attacking mentality, demanding more from the boys. Can we find at least a leveller and avoid defeat on match day 1? If you want to qualify, as Mitrovic is through and it's denied, can he turn the rebound in? He can't. He's at the post. And it's cleared away. Second time with the World War tonight. If you want to qualify that, need to go through that playoff round. You can't really afford to lose the group opener. Oh, lads, what a disappointment. This will be our second loss of the season and our first one at the Eddie Howe Stadium. Embarrassing. One of those games where Asori is through. Oh, yes! Lautaro. I can change the instructions now. I was just going to go all out, but we can change the instructions now. Lautaro gets his first goal for Bournemouth, and the Wonder Kid gives us the lead. The 2 Argentines we brought in, the Chump and Soria, combining. Lovely ball over the top. Lautaro. Oh, look at that from the 19-year-old. It's glorious. And Bournemouth out their leveller. Can we now go on to win it? Well, it might not be a win, which we certainly expected. But when you look at the stats there, oh, hang on a second. Hamed's free kick. Mitrovic! Alexander Mitrovic gets his first Bournemouth goal, and the Cherries leave it late. But win in the league phase opener. Hamed and Mitrovic off the bench combining, and Alexander... Oh, I think it's time for Sargent to go out on loan somewhere in January and get his form and his feet sorted elsewhere. Bournemouth escape with the win in the 95th minute, but Lord knows we definitely deserved it. Well done, lads. I'm proud of you for not giving up out there. We do win the league phase opener, but Lord knows that was very lucky indeed. 95th minute. We will take it. Right, guys, that will do it for today's episode. So big thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed it, then please drop a like. So you'll have a fantastic day. And we'll return in the very next episode with games against... let's gather a little bit of pace and come back maybe in November. I quite fancy that double header there, you know. Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. Villa off to a decent start this year. I wouldn't mind that. Or maybe Man City and Wolves, maybe. I don't know. One of those two combinations, I think. Have a great day, though, guys. Much love to you all. And I'll see you for the next episode of the Football Manager Save. I don't think we'll see much more of Josh Sargent this season very soon.